bit scary. I think this ET on the side lanes is completely untouched. They don't have a single stun for him. He's going to get the spirit and he's going to
Bottom lane is going to be fun.
Yep.
Bottom lane is going to be a lot of fun for this ET.
Very strong lanes
from Team also
Spirit
feeling himself this tournament.
Yep. Miposhka ET. Scary stuff.
Yeah, Toronto getting his void spirit again.
Full comfort zone for both teams, honestly. I think at this point it's really going to come down to who has a better idea going into this draft, and that's the beauty of Dota. It's a best of 5. It's meant to develop so much, but they're kind of getting to know each other. You know, this is what I can bring to the table, this is what you can bring, and you know, they're going to get to learn like what counters what. The meta is going to evolve a lot between the series.
And I would also like to point out that Team Spirit has been the most amazing learning team so far in this tournament. Like how they are adapting and how they're learning and how they're actually changing up their own playstyle into something new every game. But I would say every team fight, when there's a bite happening or a Pangolier roll, this is when LGD need to get something done. Because if not that, they lose. This is like their main team fighting tools.
And now we're about to start the game, and we're going to have an interview with the coach of Team Spirit Silent, along with Sumi.
Thank you very much, AUI. I'm here with Team Spirit's coach, Silent. Silent, we are in the grand finals. This is where everything comes out, right? All the strats will come out. Did you prepare anything specifically for PSG.LGD, or are you going for comfort?
Honestly, we didn't prepare anything because we wasn't have enough time. We was preparing for Team Secret, so we're just gonna play and having fun.
All right, so you're just aiming to play the game. Did you have anything specific in mind with this draft?
Not really. I was looking into their heroes and was trying to counter-pick them.
All right, well, we will see how the drafts tend to play out throughout this series. We'll take it to ODPixel and Insania in the meantime.
They've been able to just destroy teams in their run-up to the grand finals.
I mean, this looks very similar to their Tiny sort of draft fight. You're going to have this one core that's going to be unbeatable. They have this mid laner that's going to provide control and lockdown for them so that he's going to be able to output damage. You have the Glimpse to bring people back to the Ursa. So the concept for LGD is very much like, we're going to hit our timing, and once we do, you cannot touch us. And I think for Spirit, the problem will be, if LGD is allowed to freely just get to their timings, get that Aegis on the Ursa, where they can start ignoring the Tide Ravage, or even fighting without the Wolf Bite from the Lycan, that's when they're going to be at their strongest. So I'm expecting all hell to break loose after the laning phase.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to see it. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, finally getting into the action of Game 1 beginning between Team Spirit and PSG.LGD. Let's see if that chaos starts coming quick and fast. We know that both teams are very much able to bring it with some of the fantastic performances they've given us so far on the main stage.
Yeah, and straight away Yatoro's coming out with a really smart play. He sends his illusions within the tower range, but he puts them in an area where the tower doesn't have vision, and by doing that, he will scout out the ward immediately from LGD. And this is what I mean, right? Spirit are so on top of all of the small things that will give them any sort of information advantage, where they will have more vision than their opponents.
Let's see if they're able to maintain it throughout the early stages of the game, where it's very likely for those movements to be coming from lane to lane. See both teams avoid one another here for the bounty runes. Bit of a poke onto Miposhka, as Yatoro will still be able to grab that bounty rune. In fact, as you can see, 3 bounty runes to start things off here for Spirit, so a bit of a cash bonus to begin the lanes with.
Yeah, and that was nicely scouted out by the ET. They find information of where and how many heroes has LGD brought to which runes, and then they can split up their heroes accordingly and make sure that they get the advantage on the runes.
Let's look at some of these matchups. The mid lane, Pango versus Void Spirit, Toronto Tokyo versus Nothing to Say. What are we going to have going on here in the early few waves?
I think most likely it's going to be a pretty farm-heavy lane. I don't think really either of the two heroes are going to aim to kill each other. Probably going to be a lot of trying to push out the waves, control the runes, and then around 6 minutes when the real rune spawns, that's when you'll see both the supports collapse on a mid lane. Because I think both Pango and Void Spirit really rely on that rune control.
And looking at both sort of the side lanes, the 2 carries, Arme and Yatoro, who's going to have the easier time?
I think if you take a look at top lane, you see Ursa against Tidehunters, generally a pretty good lane matchup because you think of how the Fury Swipes stack up on him, and they have the sustain to tank the harassment that's coming out from Team Spirit. So I think but you also have the ability to make a rotation as Mira.
Could be in a bit of trouble here. We'll try and hold back the bear with the Hex. He's got the stick charges, but he's getting run down here by Arme. One more hit will do it. Can he close the gap? He can't. Oh, stun misses. That's going to cost him his life. Not the start there that Mira was hoping to have here in the grand finals. A whiffed ability. And that'll give up
bottom.
Let's have a look. It is going to be down bottom, and it is a DD. It's going to go straight into the bottle of Toronto Tokyo. So a very nice room for him to fight with, but already up top, Spirit, they'll lose Mira.
Yeah, it's a DD Toronto Tokyo though. Let's see how he can respond back with it. Because
Faith Beyond continues to push the tier 1 to fall already here on Spirit's side of the map.
yeah, I think this is the most shocking part of this early game because I expected the Lycan kind of get zoned out by the Naga and the Naga Illusions to defend them, but
Let's see if they can get Army. They've got 4 heroes working on him right
there's a
now.
Ravage.
He has the ult up, he's on the retreat up to the high ground, but they'll be able to get in front of him, close off his escape. Spirit will finally be able to claim their first kill here in the first 10 minutes, getting themselves on the board.
Yeah, and for the next minute here, as you see, they're going to try to contest this Tidehunter. They know the Naga Siren's not present.
See what they can do about Collapse. Jump already in onto the Disruptor, then look at the burst. Collapse, he's holding on to the Ravage for now. Static Storm's down, Collapse gets himself out of the side of the Ravage. Onto the 2, and then they blow up Army. It's 3 dead at the moment on PSG.LGD. IO also caught out, GQ to fall.
That's absolutely massive.
My goodness.
Team Spirit's so aware of everything. They know that this is what LGD wants to do. The Naga TP'd out, they're going to come contest us. So I expect Team Spirit also recognize that, you know what, we've given up the dire jungle. What would LGD do with that? Well, they would go to Roshan. So
See Spirit, check this out. Army's going to slow it down a little bit. The Spirit's coming in. They know that they know. Stomp
no.
in. Once the IO, they're going to lead it. There's the jump straight away. They're looking to burst through the IO. Then the ranges to fall into the hands of Army. Army's able to get the Roach kill, get the Aegis. They get the Static Storm down. The Rolling Thunder has won in control. Toronto Tokyo, but he's out with an Astral Step. Toronto Tokyo actually makes it out of there. Dissimulate as well. PSG.LGD may have got the Roach. They may have got the Aegis. Toronto Tokyo will still go down as Faith Beyond was able to wrap around and find him.
yeah, really nice play there from LGD. What an unfortunate event there for Xinkyu. He gets pulled into...
Maintaining their aggressive posture over PSG.LGD's half of the map and already looking for action once again around the bottom tier 2. See if they find the setup. They've got the Hex. They're going to look to jump in. Static Storm's going to be put down from Y. Stops the backup coming in. Still though, is it the burst enough? It is. They take down Army. That burn for the Bloodthorn. It's enough to send. It's time to look at that fight, PSG.LGD. Execution has to be immaculate.
Yeah, they're scouting with the Wolves. They're getting the info they want.
They're looking to try and start to Collapse, but Collapse is able to blink away from the lead-in. They'll turn their attention over towards Yatora, but with the instead looks to hold him back. Nothing to say, is able to get out of it. As they'll get the Static Storm set up onto the Naga Siren, but the Illusions, they're just forcing back Y. Swashbuckle's going to miss. I mean, Yatora, he's barely been scratched. He's back up to full HP. PSG.LGD, they're able to run back to base, but Collapse, he's in with the Ravage onto the 2 of them. Silence down onto Arme, pop the BKB, turn towards Toronto Tokyo, but they cannot stay for this fight. They've got to get back to the high ground, back to the base, as PSG.LGD have to charge back to the safety of their high ground as quickly as they head out. Collapse. He's going to look for the setup here outside of the base. Another BKB force. Faith Beyond trying to head back to the safety of his teammates. The ensnare locks him down. The Illusion's starting to go to work. Remnant left in the position. They drag him back with a split into the finger. My goodness, the Lycan gets absolutely destroyed. And Toronto Tokyo's not done. Diving up to the tier 4s, committing with the Dissimulate. He's trying to go for GQ. Will die underneath the towers, but he's got the Aegis. He's ready for round 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the micro decision making from Team Spirit is so beautiful to watch. I think every time a hero pops BKB, within half a second, there's a Naga net flying at it. And in the fight, you saw Ame pop BKB to try to man up and fight. And then the net comes, immediately he has to pop his ultimate. He can't use the Enrage the way he wants to. He's forced to use it defensively all the time, just to break the net, just to be able to stick on top of the targets.
Just trying to clear out these Illusions now. It seems all but impossible. The Rex dying, the melee Rex will fall. They'll get the jump on Yatora, but they've already lost Y at the start of the action. BKB from Arme, he's trying to stay on target, but Yatora is able to sing their way back to safety. And now he's ready to go back in. The song ends, Toronto Tokyo, BKB up, jump over with the Remnant, grabs back the Ursa. Arme disappears in a matter of seconds. GQ to fall as well. GG is called. And my goodness, what a buttery smooth start to the grand finals here for Team Spirit. They couldn't have played this any better, Aiden. This is how you dream of entering a grand finals at the International.
Yes, absolutely. Just everything they're doing, they're firing on all cylinders. Their macro understanding of the game, how LGD might try to sneak out of base, they're in position to cover it.